What we're going to do is focus on what we saw last night. What we saw last night was coverage sacks on the part of Tom Brady. We saw guys that were not getting open. That's what we saw. We saw a Tom Brady that didn't have targets to throw the football to because guys just weren't getting open. That's what we saw against the Detroit Lions. Not to mention the fact that the person that you were going up against is your former defensive coordinator who's incredibly familiar with you, who's incredibly familiar with Josh McDaniels, the offensive coordinator. That's why you saw them hugging like with their little bromance after the game, which was legit, by the way, because obviously they're friends and they're very close to one another. They know each other. So if you're Tom Brady and you're Josh McDaniels, it's almost a living nightmare to have to go against a Matt Patricia because very few people on the planet Earth know you better than he does. You also know that you don't have the personnel. Julian Edelman, last time I checked, was just Tom Brady's favorite target. We want to act like it's Rob Gronkowski, who's an absolute stud. He is not their number one target. It is Julian Edelman. He would happen to be out the first 4 games because of his suspension. Had the ACL injury last year, was coming back this year, but got the suspension. He's going the first 4 games. So when Julian Edelman is out there, if Julian Edelman was out there last night, and Gronk was out there last night, and you were going up against somebody other than Matt Patricia, I would get it. But the fact is, that was not the case because you got all of those things going against you. Not to mention the fact that the New England Patriots did start 2-2 last year. Where they end up last year? I think it was Super Bowl. Wasn't it Super Bowl? I think it was Super Bowl. I mean, I could be wrong, but I think they were in the Super Bowl last year. I think that after starting off 2-2, Tom Brady came back, had an MVP caliber season, and finished the year passing over 500 yards. No, it is too early. It is entirely too premature to get caught up in this is the beginning of the end or whatever, based on last night's game.
It started last year.
It's the first 3 games of this season. The beginning and end started last year. The team that went to the Super Bowl, the beginning and end.
The end is the end of the Belichick way. That is the Patriots.
I'm sorry. Is there some funeral that took place? Do I need to put forth a eulogy that we going to put on the airwaves of First Take? Did Bill Belichick die? Did he stop coaching? I'm sorry. Bill Belichick, they got to go out there and throw the damn football. Bill Belichick is going to be coaching for years to come. I haven't heard him hinting or alluding to potential retirement. What do you mean? Did he forget how to coach football? Did he forget to do things schematically? The bottom line is they don't have the personnel yet that they will have, and they went against a familiar foe. That's all that happened last night. Pump the brakes. Everything will be fine with the Patriots.
Listen, are the Patriots, is it over? No, I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to be that person to go there.
No, we were asking, is this the beginning of the end? That was the question.
Even with the beginning of the end, still not willing to go there. We've seen, go back to 2014, people said the same thing. They got humiliated by the Kansas City Chiefs on the Monday night.
By 27.
Started out the season 2-2. Everybody, oh my gosh, the Patriots, is it done?
The sky was falling.
The sky was falling, and the Patriots rebounded. Being a part of that organization, the one thing I can tell you, I've always told people, the Patriots play their best ball in November and December. They usually use September and October where they work things out. And Stephen, they brought it up, okay? Julian Edelman serving 4-game suspension, not there. Josh Gordon, even though we don't know what he's going to be in the New England offense, he wasn't active last night. So when you look at the Patriots, they got guys playing in unfamiliar roles. You know, Chris Hogan, Philip Dorsett, those guys aren't used to being in elevated roles where they're really dependent on. Those guys are more like 3rd, 4th receivers. So once the Julian Edelman and Josh Gordon comes in, I think this Patriots offense is going to take on a different look. But here's what I'm going to say. Give credit to the Detroit Lions and Matt Patricia. Obviously, he knows the personnel of the Patriots, which is a huge deal as a head coach going against your mentor in Bill Belichick. What the Lions did last night, they held the ball for 40 minutes. How many people can win a game when you hold the ball for basically almost the whole game? 40 minutes, Max, they held the ball. Run it in their rushing attack, which we haven't seen from the Detroit Lions. They ran for over 100 yards for the first time since 2013.
Shout out to Kerryon Johnson.
Kerryon Johnson.
Such a clutch name for a running back.
I agree with everything you guys are saying. You guys are not hearing me, though.
No,
I'm saying
really?
in 2014.
We're not hearing.
No, you're not. This is what happened. Bill Belichick was planning for this moment in Tom Brady's career. Whether it happened last year, it's about to happen, or it's going to happen soon. The point is he, in consecutive drafts, used a 2nd and then a 3rd round pick at the quarterback position. Guess what? Tom Brady saw that and said, neither one of those guys is there now. My point is the Belichick way is not there. And so what does that mean?
What do you mean the belt? Yeah.
Okay, so Chandler Jones is traded, right?
Okay.
He was the high-end talent guy. Then Jamie Collins is traded. Yeah. He was the heart and soul type guy, right? How do you know that what Belichick didn't want to do was eventually trade Tom Brady for 3 first-round draft picks or something
Stop right
like
there.
that?
Stop.
No,
Stop.
How do you know?
Stop right there. Because Cleveland wanted Garoppolo. And when Cleveland wanted Garoppolo, they were willing to give more. See, this is the key. Now, stay with me. Stay with me.
All
This is
right.
very important.
All
Because
right.
this point's exactly the point. Because we're hearing you now.
Go ahead.
So you should be
I'm
happy
glad
about that.
that.
We're hearing you now, okay? This is the deal. You had an opportunity to get more for Garoppolo from Cleveland than you got from San Francisco.
Right.
You didn't do it, okay? If you recall, we just heard reports over the weekend about how he was looking to move Gronk. And Gronk nixed that deal. What I am saying to you is this. If you have a situation with Bill Belichick where he is willing to make those moves, these are the kind of things that he was thinking about. My point to you is, yes, it's still Bill Belichick out there doing what he did. It's not the end. He's not retiring. He's not walking away from the game. There are things that he wanted to do that he wasn't able to get done, but he's not.
You agree Bill Belichick's thinking 3 or 4 moves ahead?
But he's not always. Like, for example, when you're talking about Gronkowski, why Detroit? Why Detroit? Because Patricia was there. So in other words, you're Bill Belichick and you looking out for your boys as opposed to what's in the best interest.
Time out.
minute.
You think it's over because he doesn't have a plan now for Tom Brady? That's why he
can't talk to 3 people.
No, you think it's over because Bill Belichick in his has been undermined.
But it's not just that he was undermined. He was undermined at maybe the critical juncture of the history of the Patriots.